guys and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for Southampton content for our match preview ahead of Saturday's trip to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to face Spurs in the Premier League. But before we get into that, we have to talk about Tuesday night. Just wow, what a night that was at Fratton Park. 4-0 win over Portsmouth in the South Coast derby. I mean, you couldn't have written it any better. Danny Ings bloody doing a knee slide in front of the Fratton end. Redmond scoring a banger, fans in great voice, 4-0 as well, 4 goals. I mean, I think it takes about 2 months for us to score 4 goals in the Premier League, and we did it in one night against Skates. So, and that result must have been the head of Ralph Hasenhüttl in terms of his team selection. Obviously, we'll talk about that in the predicted lineup, which comes out tomorrow. But some of those players who didn't start against Bournemouth, who started on Tuesday night, surely some of them have got to play. Those boys are heroes. Ralph Hasenhüttl was a hero, Danny Ings is a hero, Blade Cedric, Redmond, I mean the whole team. I mean, they were so professional, they managed the game really well and became away with a massive result. So hats off to them. We're also in the hat for the 4th round. As I film this, the draw hasn't been made, but I think we'll know when this comes out who we've got in the next round. So obviously if it's Man City away, then yeah, the cup runs over, but you know, let's go for it. But turning our attention away from Carabao Cup action and back to the Premier League for the next month, we've got a tricky test against Tottenham, but definitely one that we could get a result from if we play our cards right. Now, the past couple of meetings against Spurs have been quite mixed. We've had a couple of defeats away from home, but a couple of decent results at home. Obviously, the last time we played them was back in March when we beat them 2-1, a sensational game. You know, first home win against them in years. James Ward-Prowse scoring that stunning free kick. I'm sorry, Sam, mate. He will be in the video later as well. Don't give him any hate for that. But of course, the away games, especially at Wembley, have been, well, awful really. The 5-2 defeat on Boxing Day, 2 years ago now, just still fresh in my memory. Even last year, it was 3-1, pretty insignificant game. Hasenhüttl was in the stands just after Hughes had been sacked. But of course, they're not at Wembley anymore. They are at the brand new stadium, which was opened back in April. So they've had a couple of games there now. So they're used to it, I think, especially the area as well, and I just cannot wait. You know, it looks stunning, and I'm sure it'll be great for an away day. So I'm really looking forward to going there on Saturday for the first time. But ex-Saints manager Mauricio Pochettino is dipping his toe into hot water a little bit. It sounds like there's a bit of discontent amongst the Spurs fan base, and you know, some potentially calling for his time at the club to end. Now that comes after a defeat against Leicester in the Premier League last weekend. I mean, Leicester are a good side. It wasn't the worst result in the world. I think the manner of it potentially would have upset fans, but I think the big result was probably the Colchester one in the week. Now they were knocked out of the League Cup on Tuesday night against League 2 Colchester on penalties. You know, they're looking for a trophy and they've just blown arguably their best chance of getting a trophy. It just like that against a League 2 side, you know, it's just criminal. But it's not just been this season. This season in the Premier League, it's been okay, it seems. Obviously for top 6 standard, it's not great, but the whole of 2019, their form hasn't been good enough, you know, albeit getting to the Champions League final back in the spring. But what we have seen this season is that Spurs can pull off fantastic performances when they need to. Their last home ground saw them beat Crystal Palace 4-0. They smashed them really. All 4 goals came in the first half. That could happen to us on Saturday if we don't show up, and they do. They need a reaction and we need to manage that. And of course, like any top 6 side, they've got some incredible players. Harry Kane loves a goal against us. Dele Alli hasn't looked as good as he can be, but could easily be on form on Saturday. Lucas Moura always looks a handful. Heung-min Son, arguably in the form of his life at the moment, going from last season to this. The defence has a massive job to do on Saturday. But of course, I am no expert on Tottenham Hotspur, so I've asked my mate Sam, who's a Tottenham blogger and YouTuber, to give us a little bit of insight on all things Tottenham Hotspur ahead of the game on Saturday.
Cheers, Dan, for having me on your channel, and yeah, cheers for also choosing a very flattering footage of me when the last time I went to see Southampton play against Tottenham. Anyway, how would I sum up this season as a whole? A circus, to be honest. Absolute circus. We've had a few good moments, a few very mediocre moments, and also a few beyond awful moments. Yeah, I mean, about last night, last night's result, that was just shambolic. losing to a League 2 side on penalty shootout, and even before that we were just rubbish. Had we even won the penalty shootout, it would have still been a bad game, to be honest. And I'm not looking forward to the Champions League. Really not. Considering we drew 2-2 with Olympiacos and threw away another 2-goal lead, just like we did against Arsenal, it's just not looking good for us at all. To be honest, it's going to be one long season for us. And what happened last season when we were losing so many games is just carrying on, which just really, really infuriates me. It really does. So am I Poch in or am I Poch out? Well, I'm still Poch in. I mean, Pochettino has managed your club before. I'm sure you've seen some good things happen with your club, going from Championship to Premier League and having Pochettino as your following manager, I think. I could be mistaken, but I could be mistaken, to be honest. But I know Pochettino, regardless of when he took over your club, whether it was straight after your promotion or a season after, he did a very decent job for you, I thought. And I didn't think Pochettino would come into this club and work some wonders for us and sort of transform us into a title contending side that we once were a couple of seasons ago. Consistently going for top 4, even though it's debatable if we'll even reach top 4 this season. And I think opinions are just so reactionary. And despite last night was an awful result, I don't think Pochettino should take the full blame for it. We had a bad season. Towards the end of the season, last season, results were going awful, and then obviously we got to the Champions League final, and that should surely increase your transfer budget. And I don't know why Levy didn't sign any more players. It took us a while into the transfer window to sign Ndombele, and then after we signed him, we were pretty much so absent for the rest of the window, and we didn't make any signings until deadline day, where we left things too late, which is why we couldn't even get Dybala because of this whole image rights thing, which, well, to be fair, I don't think anyone did their research, but that's what happens if you leave it to the last day of the season. And I'm not happy with the chairman overall. I'm not happy with the way things are going, but it's just pointless sacking Pochettino, I think, because, who's going to walk into our club and work alongside Levy that offers such a tight budget, I can't think of any. And also, you got to take into account that if we were to get rid of Pochettino, we got to find a manager that can carry on the work that Pochettino would have left behind and take that to the next level. And I honestly do not think there's any manager available who would be happy to walk into our door and work alongside Levy. It just is what it is. So, for the reason of why I'm Pochettino in is more down to the fact that it's the best option we've got, and getting rid of him is just going to make the situation even worse. So for that reason, I want Pochettino to stay. The key players that I think there will be for Saturday are the ones that didn't play against the key players that I would say for Saturday are the ones who were mainly not playing the last night. Harry Kane has got the mentality. He's got a winning mentality, in my opinion. On match days, he does put his 100% in, even when he's not been having a good game. So, I think Harry Kane will be a key player. I also think Son will be a good key player as well, because he has been on good form lately. I think that's about it, really. That's okay as Aurier as well, because Aurier has been decent the last 2 games he's played. Yeah, we did lose against Leicester, which was really bad, but even though Aurier's goal was denied, I still think Aurier did a very good job. I don't want to jump to the early conclusions just yet, because we have all seen the really bad side of Aurier. But as of so far, these 2 games, Aurier's been playing well, and I think he definitely deserves another chance in that starting 11 against Southampton. Oh, prediction for the game. Right, this should be interesting. If you're asking me based on realism or optimism, if I was to be realistic, then the best I could see out of this is a draw. If I had to be optimistic, I would say a 3 or 4-0 win. I'll go for 3-0 win. Now, there's a reason to why I'm saying a 3-0 win, because if we score 2, we're going to throw it away, just like we did against Olympiacos and just like we did against Arsenal. If I was to say we're going to score 1, I think we'll throw it away and we'll lose against you, just like what happened with Leicester. You know, the problem with our team is that we score and then we just like don't go for it. Like we just don't go for it. We don't go for the full kill. We just sit back and let the team go all over us. And I really think that's not a good idea to do against a side like yours of Southampton. You know, you've had you've had an interesting week, to be fair. You lost to one of your, in your perspective, irrelevant rivals, AFC Bournemouth, and you thrashed your League One side rivals Portsmouth 4-0. And honestly, you know, this is no diss or hate towards Southampton, but I really thought Portsmouth maybe could have got a result against you, because, you know, it's in home atmosphere, and the wonders of the cup is that, you know, you can see smaller teams, just like you saw with Colchester, you know, perform magic. And I thought, you know, there was a back inside of me that thought Portsmouth were going to win it. And don't take this to heart, but I also did want Portsmouth to win it, just on the basis of, on a neutral, you know, no disrespect and no hate towards Southampton. But honestly, I watched that game and the atmosphere was incredible. Saw the stuff on Twitter as well, and the stuff was, you know, a very toxic rivalry. Yeah, so it's definitely an underrated rivalry as well. I'll give you that as well. But yeah, my prediction, I think I'm just going to go for this final prediction. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win, because I'm hoping that these results that we've had, the last three results, will be a huge, huge kick up the backside, and we'll perform at home and do well. But honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if we draw, or even if we lose. And if we do lose, you know, Pochettino is in big trouble. It's only going to put more dent into the club. So, you know, this is, to me, playing Southampton, this is do or die. So we've got to beat you. We've got to beat you. And I'm backing the boys to beat Southampton. Thank you for having me on the channel, and I will see you just before the game, where you will be getting in my vlog. Take care, Dan.
Thanks for that, Sam. I'll leave his details in the comment section below. Go check out his channel. He's almost at 10k, and he deserves it. Now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen with the team selection. Like I said earlier, predicted lineup is out tomorrow, so we'll look at that after Ralph Hasenhüttl's press conference. But surely Ings has to start. After a derby double on Tuesday night, he has to start. Whether it's with Adams or without Adams, we'll have to see. But, you know, I'm not confident for this one, and, you know, it'll be a difficult game. I'm confident we'll have a good performance and sort of give the fans something to cheer about, not a result, and we'll get on to my prediction in a minute. But, you know, I can see us doing okay in the game. But going on to my prediction, you know, like I said, our away format, Tottenham, really is dreadful. You know, the 2-1 win at White Hart Lane a couple of years ago, that was an anomaly. Yes, granted, we haven't played at Spurs' new stadium yet, so potentially it's as if we're starting from scratch. But yeah, I can't see us winning this one. I can see us potentially getting a point. You know, I think we'll give Spurs problems, and I do think we'll score. But I don't think we'll score enough. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win. I think they need a reaction. They need 3 points on the board. We do as well. In fairness, the result against Bournemouth was quite hard to take. I felt like we really need to be getting points from that one, given it the fact that it was at home against a side that will be near us come the end of the season. They wanted it more. Of course, we've forgotten about that now with the Tuesday night. We have to look at our Premier League fixtures for the next couple of months now that the derby's out of the way. You know, they're tough fixtures. We need to find points from somewhere. And I think every Saints fan will bite your hand off for a point on Saturday. But I do expect us to put a performance in. How good the performance is just the question, and how much we can take from the game. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. Do make sure you give it a like if you are looking forward to the game. Let us know in the comment section below if you're going, and your score predictions for the game against Spurs. Remember to follow us on all of our socials. Click subscribe if you haven't yet already, and we'll see you tomorrow for the predicted lineup.